Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Sports Central. I'm Neil Duncan. We've got a great show ahead of us. We got Brenda Friedman from the Mid-Florida Mayfair by the Lake. We've got Jeremy Armstrong and Mark Voisard from the Cypress Gardens water ski team. They're going to come and talk to us about a really neat event coming to Polk County. And we got Barbara Cagle from Visit Central Florida. Stick around, everybody, for this week's edition of Sports Central. Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neil Duncan alongside Chris Caprios. And Mr. Caprios, I think it's been a while since you've been on the show.
It has. Thought I'd dress up for the occasion and
you do
ready
look
to
nicer
go.
than I do.
Thank you. Yeah.
I don't appreciate that. But great show coming up. I know later in the show we're going to talk about Skills USA. That just happened here in Polk County for the first year. We got 2 more years of that. A great event that happened and a huge success, right?
Yeah, very, very big success. I know a lot of the local organizing committee, they're probably still sleeping, recovering from that event. It was a huge undertaking. Took over the entire Lakeland Center for 4 days. But yeah, a great event. We can talk more about it later. But very happy to have them here and looking forward to the next 2 years and maybe even beyond that.
Well, this first segment brought to us by the Hampton Inn Lakeside Village. But you talk about great events. Of course, that was the first year of having Skills USA. But we're now going to talk about an event who's going to be in its 44th year here in Polk County. We want to welcome to the show Brenda Friedman from the Mid-Florida Mayfair by the Lake. And Brenda, you guys all ready? Because it's upon us.
We are ready, yes.
Next week, the big event. It's hard to believe. It seems like the 43rd annual just ended, right? I'm sure for you especially.
It does. It comes by really quickly, but this is our 44th year. It's next weekend, May 9th and 10th, Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 4 p.m. And then on Saturday night, we have Mayfair Saturday night down on Lake Mirror, and that's from 5:30 until 11 p.m.
Well, let's talk about there's a lot of different events that go along with Mid-Florida Mayfair by the Lake, but the first one is the show itself. Has been named in the top, I want to make sure I get this right, 100 Best Art Shows by the Sunshine Artist Magazine. That's got to be a great compliment to a hard-working event.
It is. It's a huge honor, and it's a national honor. It's a magazine that the art professionals who do these shows subscribe to, and they're the ones who vote for placement. And I think we're 43 this year, so just being in the top 200 is awesome, but we're pretty well up
in the
there.
top 50, so that's
I know,
even better.
that's great. Yeah, we were really excited to get that honor.
And obviously over 44 years, this event has turned into one of the biggest, like we're talking about, not only in Central Florida, in the state.
Absolutely.
And people mark their calendars every year for this event. They come from all over the state, so it's exciting. The thing for me every year is to see what you unveil the poster every single year. It's pretty exciting to see that. So this year, I think it's a swan, right? So fitting.
It is, and it's beautiful. The swan's name is Morton. And the artist is Mary May Weedy, and she is also from Lakeland.
For those just catching on, Morton, named after Lake Morton, right? Appropriate.
I should have mentioned that.
I would like to say I caught that, but I didn't.
Yeah, the show is on Lake Morton, and the swan
Morton,
ended up being named Morton, so very apropos.
And Mother's Day weekend every year as well, so it's kind of a tradition, and that reminds me I need to start planning for what I'm going to get my mom for Mother's Day.
Well, that's what you do. You bring her down to Mayfair and let her choose her own gift.
That's right. That's what I'll do. There we go. I'm done.
You sell it as this was your plan all along. Exactly. You forgot to get something.
Hopefully she's not watching. Yeah.
Well, I ruined that for you, but talk about how the event got started.
It was started on the library lawn, I think in I won't say the year because then people would start using them. And it just started out as a small little crafts festival, and it has just grown and blossomed from there.
What would be the reason? I mean, obviously it's great that that's happened, but what would you attribute the success to? There's got to be a lot of volunteers.
Awesome organizers.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I got you.
No, we have over 200 volunteers every year, and we have incredible sponsors. Mid-Florida is our title sponsor this year and has been for the last 4 years. Visit Central Florida is a big sponsor for us. I know you're going to be hearing from them in a little while.
We don't really like those guys.
You don't? We think they're awesome. Southern Homes, Cannon Subaru, Frost Van Boom and Smith, Publix, Tampa Made Foods. So we have great sponsors, and without the sponsors and volunteers, we couldn't pull it off.
And talk about the show itself. It's a juried art show. So what is that, for those that don't know, what does that mean? How is it judged? Who is eligible to compete?
It's actually very competitive to get in, and this year was particularly competitive. We had well over 300 applications, and we only have 155 spots. So it was very competitive. Artists apply by going online. They present 3 of their individual images, 1 image of what their display will look like in the show, and then high scores get in and low scores are not invited. So, and it, you know, some people every year get in, and then some people get in some years, not other years. It just depends on the competition that particular year and who the jury is.
We're talking about the Mid-Florida Mayfair by the Lake, and it's Saturday, May 9th, and Sunday, May 10th.
Yes.
The hours are 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., correct?
Correct.
Where do people park? That's the #1 question, and how much does it cost?
Everything is free. That's the
that's a good
best
answer.
part. Everything is free. Parking is in Florida Southern. There's a parking lot that is on the corner of Johnson and Frank Lloyd Wright Way, right across from the new Usonian house. We have free parking there, and then we have a little shuttle that's free, takes you down to the lake, and that's the best. I mean, there's lots of parking, you can park in the neighborhoods and such, but that's really the most convenient, easiest to get into, easiest to get out of. Everything is free. There's a children's zone where kids can come and create their own art, and that's free as well. There are some bouncy houses and things like that are available in the kids zone for a small fee, but that's pretty much the only thing that there's a fee for.
Very nice. And you mentioned just the history of the event. Talk about where some of these artists come from. We're not talking just local artists that are part of this competition. Most of them come from outside of the area, around the state, even around the country.
Yeah, I would say that the vast majority are from Florida, but we do have artists from all over the country who apply and who get in. So they're from everywhere.
Great. All right. And there's also a run associated with
There
it.
is.
A little jog, if you will, the 5K. Tell us about that event.
Okay, so Mayfair Saturday night starts after the art festival ends. Everything kind of moves down to Lake Mirror in downtown, and part of Mayfair Saturday night is that the Lakeland Runners Club puts on the 5K race there. And I don't know if it's too late to apply, but you can Google Lakeland Runners Club, and I think they have about 1,300 runners every year. It is a, what do you call it when it's a race that qualifies you for other races? It's a qualifying race.
Yeah.
And,
sounds good.
So that goes on. We also have a live band, street dance. The band is Empire out of Orlando, and they are incredible. This is our 3rd year, and people just had a fit the first year and really wanted them back. And then
what type of music do they play? All kinds?
Everything, pop, everything.
Just an assortment.
You name it, they play it.
There you go.
And then at 9 o'clock, if the fire marshal says it's okay, then fireworks go off at 9 p.m.
It's funny you say that, because we were actually in that position when we had the World Shoot going on down there in October, and waiting on the fire marshal.
Yeah, it's like, is it okay? It's a little windy. Is it okay?
Yeah, well, safety comes first.
Absolutely.
But, the museum itself, what's going on during the whole Mayfair event at the museum?
Well, that weekend the museum is open and free to the public. That's the whole weekend, and there is an exhibit going on at the museum right now on African American art. It's an incredible exhibit. One of our Mayfair artists actually has some of his work being exhibited on the 2nd floor, Gregory Jones. So that's going on as well. It's a nice little respite if you're out there on the lake and you get a little hot, or you're out in the kids zone and you just want to step in, cool off, and enjoy some incredible art. You can do so, and it's all free.
And you mentioned free admission to the museum this weekend, or the weekend of the event. Actually, the museum, very exciting announcement recently, free admission for every day of the week.
Absolutely,
that's
just
great.
happened the beginning of this week. Yeah, that's incredible, and we're really excited about that.
Very nice.
So that took a sponsorship, right? Somebody sponsored
Yeah.
that? Go ahead and give her a free plug.
No, I think there were a few, so I don't want to miss anybody.
All right, I understand. But just recapping again, Saturday and Sunday, May 9th and 10th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Lake Florida, Mayfair by
Yes.
the Lake. Let's recap real quick. Where can they get more information?
You can get information on the museum's website, which is polkmuseumofart.org. You can check on our Facebook page at #Mayfair, and anything else?
Well, and you mentioned how the number of volunteers it takes to put a huge event like this on. Are you still taking volunteers if somebody wants to say they're available?
Yeah,
or is that...
I think for the children's area, they're
Okay.
still looking for volunteers. So you can just send us an email at mayfair@polkmuseumofart.org.
Great.
Okay, great. Any other information about the museum itself? I know there's always a lot of fantastic events going on there, and as you guys move forward with anything, this really is the catalyst for everything else that goes on the rest of the year at the museum, correct?
There are incredible education programs. We do a lot of outreach programs within the community, and summer art classes. You're available to sign up for those now. You can do that online at the Polk Museum of Art website. And what else do you need to know?
No, that's too much. We're just giving you a video. But we certainly appreciate your time, Brenda, and we look forward to the event every single year. And good luck, and hopefully we'll have you on next year for the 45th.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
All right. Well, of course, we want to show you some footage that will make you even want. You already want to go, but we're going to try to entice you a little more with some footage from Mayfair in the past. So take a look at this footage. Chris and Neil will be right back here on Sports Central.
This morning. It goes to 4 today, and Saturday and Sunday. And tonight at 5, the party moves to Lake Mirror, and we'll have a street dance, free, open to the public all night with a live band, 5K race at 7 o'clock, and fireworks at 9.
We actually live in the Lake Morton neighborhood, so this event kind of takes over our backyard. Every year, it's just a cool chance to see lots of interesting vendors, artists, musicians, all kinds of people coming out, both from the Lakeland community and the Central Florida community, showing off their art and other interesting things.
Artists who are juried in this year, and they represent 11 different mediums. It's everything from wood and ceramic to acrylic and oil painting, everything in between, sculpture. Between 65 and 70,000. This morning's crowd was very big, so I'm guessing it'll be at least that this year.
Sports Central, Neil Duncan alongside Chris Caprios, and some good footage there. I didn't do a real great job tossing it to that package, but it
speaks for itself. You
right.
really don't have to promote it too much. And we talk about the Polk Museum of Art really being one of the crown jewels, I guess, if you will, of the arts culture community in Polk County. And Mayfair by the Lake makes us known worldwide. Really, everybody knows about that great event.
Absolutely. And this segment, second segment of Sports Central, brought to us by Hollywood Window Tinting and Signs. And you talk about Mid-Florida Mayfair by the Lake and the history. 44th edition of that, and you look back at the history of Polk County, there's been some great things that have happened in this county, and probably one of the best things that's ever happened in this county was the ski show at Cypress Gardens. And everybody was pretty upset when Cypress Gardens closed. Of course, now the success of Legoland Florida Resort, but something came back in 2012, and we were all better for it, and that is the Cypress Gardens water ski team. And joining us now is Jeremy Armstrong and Mark Voisard. Gentlemen, welcome to the show, and thank you for bringing back Cypress Gardens water ski show. Each month done at Lake Silver, with the third Saturday of each month?
Third Saturday of the month.
And did I have that right, 2012?
Yeah, or it could be 2011. The memory goes after a while.
Either way, it's back, and you can. It's free of charge, right?
Free of charge. We pass the hat at the end of the show.
Very nice.
Who got that going again? Was it you?
There was a group of us.
Okay.
Yeah, former skiers from Cypress Gardens that got together. We brought in people, professionals like Jeremy, help us out, perform the stuff that we can't do anymore. So we brought in the young guys,
Right.
So.
And just talk a little bit about the show, and then we'll get to talk about what we're really here for, which is a very neat event that you guys are bringing in next week. But the show itself, if I remember the Cypress Gardens water ski show, is it very similar?
It's very similar. We're doing the same kind of stuff. We have a jump. We fly the kite. The girls are on their swivel skis. We're doing pyramids. Most of the time it's a 4-tier pyramid like we used to do. What else? Barefooting, back barefooting. The biggest thing that we got going, though, is we got a kids group. So we call that the Work in Progress, or WIP show.
Okay.
And we have 45 kids.
Wow.
And we're teaching them what we know, so that they'll carry on, and so that I can take a break and retire.
So it can be like one of those rock bands that's been around for 50 years.
That's right.
Some of the original members go away, and you bring on the young guns.
Because we can't sing anymore.
I don't know. Some Rolling Stones are still touring, and some others like that.
I didn't say all rock bands. I'm just saying.
I mean, and talk about, obviously this was born out of the group wanting to get back together and ski again, but also out of demand, because visitors that have been coming here for years and years that knew Cypress Gardens and knew the show.
We get unbelievable following of people that used to come to the gardens and come and watch our shows on a regular basis, walk the park and do whatever. And they still come out. We get the snowbirds that come down, and they come out and hang out. We were in conjunction with the World Records, Chain of Records, a couple weeks ago. And we had our All-American tournament. And we had people that were just sitting there to watch, and then they stayed through our tournament, which is 4.5 hours. And then they stayed through Chain of Records. We set a couple of really nice records on Lake Silver there. And one of the things that we will talk to, obviously, is our adaptive clinic.
Right.
But it came out of help, and even Cypress Gardens ski team came out of help from Bob Casper, and Bob Casper is On the Edge Children's Foundation.
Okay. Well, real quick before we get too far down the road, I do want to thank you guys for performing at the World Shoot, the opening ceremonies.
Sure.
Literally exposed. You guys had done this for years. The world knew about the Cypress Gardens water ski team, but those athletes, those 1,400 athletes and their guests, got to see a great performance, and what you guys did there in downtown Lakeland was phenomenal. So thank you.
That was great. Thank you.
So, Jeremy, tell us about the adaptive water ski event. How did it come about, and what exactly is it for our viewers at home?
Adaptive water skiing is water skiing for anybody with any kind of a disability. May 9th, we go on, I believe, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And anybody who has any kind of a disability can come participate, whether it's physical, mental, financial. Our events that we do are set up just for that. We don't charge for our events. We're just trying to get anybody and everybody back into the sport of water skiing. A lot of these folks that come and ski with us could be, you never know where somebody got hurt. You always hear the horror stories of the high school kid who got in a car accident, or the wounded warrior coming back from overseas. You know, and these people, they were water skiers when they were able-bodied, and now this is our opportunity to help give back to them and get them back out on the water.
Well, and it's got to be just amazing to see. Some of them probably never even skied or been on the water, and just to see them have that opportunity. That's got to be the reward in itself, just for putting the event on.
Beautiful experience. It's everyone we do. You never know what you're going to get. The characters that you get to meet, and the kids especially, because a lot of these kids, this will be the only time they get to do something like this for the entire year, and they'll talk about this event all the way through till next year when they come back and do it again.
Well, I've read, researching and looking at some of these events, that some of the comments were the freedom that it gives them. They feel they're moving at a decent clip, and it gives them some motion that they're not. They feel more free than what their normal day-to-day is. And just talk about the excitement that builds up to an event like this. And I'm sure it takes a number of volunteers to pull off an event or equipment.
Absolutely, we couldn't do these events without help from the Cypress Gardens water ski team, especially one this weekend. Last year, how many people did ski last year?
We had over 30 people ski, and what's cool about our little site is we move a dock out of the way, and we got a free range. 2 boats are going the whole time, so we're able to give 4 or 5 rides in 3 hours to anybody who wants to go.
We were just they were showing some photos of the different equipment that you guys use. Where does that come from, or is there an association that has this equipment?
We work with On the Edge Children's Foundation.
Right.
And we do these events all over, but we have several manufacturers that we work with. Myself, personally, we've been developing some new equipment for the last couple of years to make this sport a little bit more accessible to other people. The financial end of it is like anything else for anybody with a disability. As soon as you put that disability attached with anything, it's twice as expensive. So the skis are very expensive. The apparatus, the cages that they sit in are very expensive. So what we've been trying to do is developing a cheaper ski and developing an adjustable cage so that we can one size fits all kind of thing just to get people involved. And it's been a huge success and very important for the sport.
And again, talk about the age. There are age limits. Is it six and up? It has to be, and it's on May 9th. Is it an all-day event?
We'll get going at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you never know when it's kind of going to be done. You say it's going to be done at a certain time, but if people are having fun and our volunteers still have a little gas in the tank, we'll keep going.
Nice.
And the only other restriction, no brittle bone disorders,
Correct.
obviously because of the force and some of that, and then anyone who is susceptible to seizures, because you don't want to get on the water and have an episode, right?
Yeah, and the biggest issues there is if somebody was to fall, you can't be out stuck in the middle of the lake trying to take care of somebody who's either having a seizure, or if they tip out of the cage and they do have brittle bones, it would never be good.
Right. Tell us a little bit more how can someone maybe who's at home watching this segment of Sports Central, how can they get involved either as a volunteer or if they want to make a financial contribution to help with the apparatuses and the equipment needed for such an event? Who would they contact?
You can get a hold of myself or Mark Voisard. You can find us at the Cypress Gardens Water Ski Team's website. You can find us at ontheedgechildrensfoundation.com, Facebook, any of that.
Okay.
Find you anywhere, it seems like.
Yeah, it's not hard to find people anymore with all the social media. In fact, we're going to talk about that in our next segment. But Mark, going back to the Cypress Gardens water ski team, and of course this event's May 9th, and then that following Saturday you'll have your third Saturday of the month general show.
And we're also doing a Memorial Day show.
I was just getting ready to ask.
On Monday.
What's the plan for the summer?
Well, during the summer when the sun changes, we do 5:15 and 6 o'clock.
Okay.
We will do the same on Memorial Day, which is a Monday. We are also serving food now. We have burgers and brats and things like that.
Nice.
So and popcorn and drinks. But so people can plan on that. It's the right time for that. And then in the fall we change back to a little earlier, 3:45 and 4:30.
Okay. And again, if anybody wants to come out to the show, it's at Lake Silver in Winter Haven.
Lake Silver.
Third Saturday of every month. Bring your chair. There's concessions available, and there's no charge.
Yep. You could bring a blanket. You could have a picnic. We've had people bring wine and cheese and sit on a blanket and have a nice little event while the ski show's going on. So
Fantastic.
Great
kind of
setting
fits
there
everything.
too, pretty
Yeah.
much downtown Winter Haven.
there's a lot of shade, there's a lot of trees.
Yeah.
So
I think the neatest part about this is a great event, so that's huge. But the Cypress Gardens water ski team being back, not only can visitors go see that, but they also can go, Legoland does have a ski show. So now there's 2 shows that you can go see, and though they're very different from each other, you can get the old style Cypress Gardens show and then the Lego themed show. So.
Yeah, and really preserving that history is the biggest part of it too, which is great for those those new families that are coming here for the first time and maybe didn't know about Cypress Gardens being here, but now they have a chance. They can leave the park on a Saturday night and go down and check out the show. So you really
we still
can
get questions. Do I have to pay to get in to see your show? Because they think we're still there.
Yeah.
Oh, to Legoland?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how much would that be worth to you? Well, guys, thank you so much, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
As always, you can go to centralfloridasports.com or visit centralflorida.org for a full listing of events, and always on there is when the Cypress Gardens water ski team is going to be performing. Part of the show, we bring you athlete spotlights, and we've got another one in the queue for you. Take a look at this action, and Chris and Neil will be right back here on Sports Central.
It's my senior year. It's about to be over because I'm going to miss the good times I had in football, and wrestling, weightlifting, all the sports I did, and miss all my friends because I know we're all going our different paths. The thing I'm most proud of is NJRTC, is my RTC unit, because with that's one of our biggest clubs here. We have over 150 people in our class that are participating in the club, and that I'm the commanding officer of it. The thing that makes me a good leader is that I set the example.
He was third team All-State as an offensive lineman, which is pretty incredible when you compare the size of the other 4 linemen in that group to him.
If you want something, hard work, you can get it. That's how you do it.
He actually played center and he played inside linebacker, which is, there was a lot of times I don't know how he did it.
And I show that in football and wrestling also. My freshman and sophomore year, I didn't even make the varsity lineup. And then my junior season, I made it to states as a qualifier. And weightlifting, my freshman year, I was benching like 205, 220, 210. And then going into my junior year qualifying last year, I benched 325 pounds.
He's hard work in the classroom. I mean, he's a hard worker at wrestling practice, weightlifting practice, football practice.
He doesn't just preach it, he does it, and he does it consistently. He brings it every day.
It's not all about size and gifted talent. It's about your work ethic and your hard work ethic and everything else, your determination for accomplishing great things. In elementary school, I was in a mainstream classroom. I was always pulled out for a half a day, going to a ESE classroom to help with my speech and my writing, all the way up to 5th grade. And once I got into middle school, I still got pulled out of class for my speech therapy. Then once I hit high school, that's when I said, I can do this on my own. I don't need anybody to help me. Ever since then, I've been doing AP classes, honors classes, and I have above a 4.0 GPA. I haven't been given the best abilities, but I've conquered them. But I want to help spread that to other people and show them that you might have a disability, you might be behind the 8 ball in athletics, you might not be blessed with everything, but I'm going to teach you and help you because I know that you can do greatness. The reason I wrestled heavyweight last year, I was wrestling 220 the whole season, and I wrestled a couple of heavy matches and do team tournaments that we did. And I knew on my team there was nobody else that could do it. There is nobody able to wrestle that heavy because they're not as strong as me. I'm like, Coach, I wrestle heavyweight. I feel like it's my responsibility as a team leader and be an example, just go out there and show them how I'll do it. So I went up there for a summer program during the summer. I loved the campus. I loved how everything was run there and how they trained us actually for that 1 week as if we were actually part of their cadre or their swab at the Coast Guard. So once I learned that, I'm like, I love the Coast Guard. I want to go to the Coast Guard. When once I got accepted, I'm like, there's no choice anymore. This is what I want to do. Yeah, I'll be able to play football for the Coast Guard Academy and wrestle for the Coast Guard Academy, as the head coach told me. And Coast Guard, I feel like they probably won't put me at heavyweight anymore. They probably put me in my normal weight class because that's the way that I actually wrestle heavyweight there. I want to be that person. I want to be like my dad because he's shown me how. Like he's done stuff that I want to do later on. It's because he's been in the NFL. He played college football. He won a state championship for wrestling 2 years. I want to pursue greatness. I always want to do it because I know that if I pursue greatness, I could capture excellence because you can't be perfect.
Give me, say 11, 12 Coltons, and I'll go ahead and order my state championship rings.
Hi, I'm Colin Roush. I'm a great Bloodhound Auburndale High School student, and thank you for watching.
Sports Central, great piece there on Colton Roush from Auburndale. All Sports Awards is June 23rd, I think.
Yes,
of course,
coming
each
up.
year. That's presented by the Ledger Media Group, which the segment is presented by the Ledger Media Group, but never a shortage of great athletes to honor there at the Polk County All Sports
Especially
Awards.
in wrestling, every sport really, I shouldn't say especially, but wrestling, every year Polk County has at least one state champion, either individual wrestler or team. So yeah, that's just one of the many sports that we stand out in here in Polk County.
I think the neat thing is the fact that student athletes, these students typically do very well in school because you don't end up attending on scholarships if you don't have the grades. So anyways, as I said, this segment brought to you by the Ledger Media Group and great partners of tourism and sports marketing. And this next segment, as we move into the summertime, number of events going on here in Polk County. We want to make sure that you, the viewer at home, have the correct tools to make sure you're accessing the right information. And we want to bring in Barbara Cagle from Visit Central Florida to the program to talk to us about all things social media. Barbara, welcome to Sports Central.
Thank you for having me.
That's what you do basically, is make sure that that Visit Central Florida engages with the visitor, with the resident, and they always know what's going on, right?
Exactly. That's our goal, is to make sure there's a lot of good things happening in Central Florida, and we want everybody to know about them. So that's what we do through social media.
Well, speaking of that, obviously the websites we hit on the show quite often, centralfloridasports.com or visitcentralflorida.org. Talk to us about the visitcentralflorida.org page and what kind of information can the visitor or the citizen, for that matter, access on that website?
Okay, so one of the most popular things on the website is the blog. And on our blog, we share everything that's awesome in Central Florida, from firsthand experiences at restaurants, shopping, unique places. We'll do interviews. What's also pretty popular with the locals is during the holidays, we'll highlight where you can find all the Easter egg hunts in Polk County, 4th of July fireworks, Christmas parades. We'll list them all, link them all, so it's really convenient for you to find and have fun.
So you're saying that the blog is the most popular. Is that because you write the blog? You think it's the most popular?
I'm assuming that is why it's the most popular. So yeah, the blog, great information on the blog, cheeky titles, proud of that. I like to be cheeky.
I don't even know what that means.
Cheeky titles on the blog.
Okay, good.
Cheeky.
We'll believe you.
You visit the blog and you'll find out.
But really, it's all about engagement and content, because that, we talk about social media, and that is the way we talked about in the last segment. Yeah. You can find anything at any time now, and mostly because of social media, because of everybody is connected constantly. So that is really the overall strategy you're talking about, is having the content to engage with the visitor and make sure that when they search for something in Central Florida, they find us.
Definitely. We keep SEO in mind, search engine optimization, so that when you are looking for something specific, it takes you to where you need to go. And we're hoping that's our blog, and we're trying to have all the information you need about a particular event, attraction, shopping, etc., that you need, and you can find it easily. And we just want to talk to you.
Well, you talk about the information. What's good for our visitors, it's also good for our citizens as well, because the county is so large and there's so many things to see and do in Polk County that people may not realize it's in their own backyard. So it's not just for the visitors, it's also for the citizens right here in Polk County, right?
Oh, the county's huge, and almost every time we post about an amazing attraction in the county, there will undoubtedly be some local who lives in that area who's never heard of it. I mean, great attractions, Safari Wilderness, Westgate River Ranch, Bach Tower. These are huge, but there are some locals who still have never heard of them.
Or haven't experienced them and didn't know what they had at those locations, yeah.
Exactly.
And it's also great for residents of Polk County to follow on Twitter, on Facebook, because we always talk about it all the time. They may know about those places that you were just talking about, but they want to know the events that are coming up because maybe they have family or friends coming into town. So they could be our best salesperson because if we educate them, they're able to then
definitely
educate their friends.
If you follow us on Twitter or read our blog, you'll be a hero when your relatives come to town, because we've got all the events on our event listings and we're constantly tweeting about what's going on real time. And even some attractions change. So some attractions get revamped. There's a new hotel at Legoland. Someone on the blog just tweeted, or somebody tweeted us yesterday and said, I live right next to there and I had no idea they were building a hotel. It opens May 15th.
Well, and again, it's not necessarily because the information is not out there. People get very channeled into what's going on in their world and maybe don't extend very much to get that information. Speaking of, as you know, I'm not on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or really anything other than my iPhone. And I don't know really how to use that. What is the difference between Facebook and Twitter?
Okay, so the difference between our Facebook and our Twitter, I'll say, is on our Facebook page, we're posting about once a day. Every Monday we post all of the upcoming events happening in the county, and other days we are sharing a blog post where we visited a restaurant, or we're sharing an awesome picture. On Twitter, we have anywhere from 800 to 900 tweets a month.
Wow.
So, but with Twitter, I mean, it's there for a second and it's gone. So, like I said, we're retweeting events, we're tweeting pictures, we're talking to people. People are asking us questions. Where's a good barbecue restaurant in Haines City? Where's a good fishing spot in Auburndale? What's the best hotel to stay at in Lakeland? And so we're answering those questions 7 days a week. We don't stop after 5 p.m. I've always got my phone on me, and other people in the office have their phone on them, and even if you just want to chat.
Well, and really that's the best point, because we've talked about it being educational for the visitor, for the resident, but it's also taking customer service to the next level, because like you said, people ask us questions, whether it's on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, they could do that as well. And we're there 24/7 to answer it, so it's taking the customer service to the next level as well.
Definitely. And I do sleep. I do take notes. And sometimes
not at work though.
And not at work.
Okay.
And
Just making sure.
And I do drive, so I do have downtimes, but I get alerts on my phone, and we get alerts, and we check. And if anything, we love talking and answering questions. Period. So.
And that's where the social part of social media comes in, and really just not even just to take it from the local level just to nationwide and trend-wise. It's funny, the NFL draft was just last night, and NFL sending out press releases about how they're going to have special Pinterest boards for the draft. So it's everywhere. It's the way people are going to communicate from now on. So.
And we're going to have, and I know some people prefer Facebook, we know some people prefer Twitter and websites. We're going to have the relevant information on all 3 platforms, so you can find it wherever you're comfortable.
Do we have anything on MySpace? Does that still exist?
I still have a MySpace.
I'm just kidding.
I'm sure it's still out there.
And the reason I say that is to cue the next question. How hard is it to stay up with all the changes? Because it's like Facebook was the thing, and then everybody got on Facebook, so a group of people said, okay, now let's go to Pinterest, or let's do Twitter. It seems like there's always something new popping up. How does the county, or how does tourism and sports marketing stay ahead of that curve? Because you got to have what they're looking for.
Well, it's part of what we do. We have to, and if you come on early, I mean, if something new changes and it becomes popular and people are using it, we need to be there spreading the word. So we'll get on board. With the internet, you can find out how to use almost anything fluently. So you can YouTube videos. If you don't know how to use Twitter yet, you can YouTube a video on how to download the app on your phone.
Thanks.
Oh, okay.
I'm good, thanks.
you know, anything like anybody else out there who's not familiar with Twitter or Facebook, there's all kinds of tutorials out there. And for us, we follow a lot of experts on Twitter and Facebook, and that's how we stay on top of things.
Also, another one we haven't talked a lot about, Instagram. This is one where you want help from the visitor, from the resident. You want them to share photos, right?
Definitely. We can't be everywhere at one time, and we love it when our locals and visitors send us great pictures of their area, sunrise, sunsets, their food. We would love to share it on our Instagram, highlight it on our Facebook page, tweet about it, and we'll of course give you photo credit. So we'll make you famous.
Well, and local citizens as well, because if they're sending you stuff, that's helping to promote what we have locally to people that may follow us that are not from the area, maybe like Tiger fans up in Michigan.
No
right?
one knows what's awesome about Central Florida as much as the Central Florida residents. Granted, I did just say there's a lot of things they don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
They're perfect. I mean, yeah, our locals, if you're proud of where you live, send us your pictures, tell us why. If there's a restaurant we haven't talked about that's awesome, tell us about it. We'd love to go enjoy it, give a first-hand experience about it.
Well, and if you think about it, when people go on vacation, or what's the one thing you want to do is go to the places where the locals like to go, and that's a great way to find out for our visitors to find out where.
Absolutely, I think a few of our last blogs, we went and visited Ridge Island Groves, where you can tour an awesome orange grove. We visited a brand new coffee shop, Concord Coffee, in Dixieland, and the locals love it. Locals, visitors, if you're in town and you look us up on Twitter, real time, you'll see.
And of course,
where to go.
A lot of what we've been talking about is the tourism side or leisure travel side of things, but it's also on the sports side as well, because when major events come in, we're tweeting about it, or we're uploading like Skills USA, which we're going to talk about a little bit in the next segment. They came in, we're getting that information out there because it might be a sport participant locally here in Polk County, but grandma and grandpa or somebody else, some family member might be elsewhere. So we're also covering the sports side as well, too. True?
Definitely. I would say that we're probably more active on Visit Central Florida, but we are active on the sports side as well. So we follow a lot of great sports personalities on Twitter, and if there's an event in town, we're tweeting about it. We've got blogs on that website, centralfloridasports.com, and we do the same thing. We've got great athlete spotlights from Sports Central, and we share those, write blogs, find just as great information.
Well, and talk about another big part of what you do as far as educating people what's going on. There's a lot of event calendars spread throughout the county, and it's great that each area has, but you have a combined calendar on visitcentralflorida.org that really covers everything. How can people either upload their events or find those?
Great. Yeah, we have a great event calendar, and it's because we have a lot of local organizations and businesses who go to visitcentralflorida.org, click on events, and then scroll down to the bottom and click add events. So if your organization doesn't have your events on our calendar, that's how you add them. And if you have trouble adding those events, you can email Jessica at visitcentralflorida.org, all spelled out.
And you can also print off those events if you're maybe the Chamber of Commerce or somewhere else and you're looking to have that data for visitors coming into your lobby or your welcome area. You can print those events off right from that page, right?
Absolutely. You can also be added to a weekly event listing where we'll email you that listing for the upcoming events of 1 week every Monday, and you do that by emailing me, Barbara, at visitcentralflorida.org. Happy to add you to the list.
All right. Well, Barbara, thank you so much. We appreciate your time, and I really still don't know what any of that does, what that means, but no, just kidding.
It's obviously very helpful.
It's very helpful. It is very helpful.
Well, this isn't in the script, but Barbara has a little bit of a background in horse racing, so I'm wondering if you have a Kentucky Derby pick.
I don't know, and I'll tell you I don't have a pick, and I'll tell you from having a background in the racing industry, you never know. I don't bet on horse racing because you never know what they're going to do.
It's illegal. You should.
It's
that's legal. I'm kidding.
not the racetrack.
We'll get her pick out of her when we go to break here. But one of those events we're probably tweeting about or listing on those websites is State Cup from the Florida Youth Soccer Association. Check out this action. We'll be right back here on SportsCenter.
Well, the Florida State Cup is an open competition for all teams that are in Division I from age groups U13 through U19. We have 471 teams that started the competition that began in the end of March, and we are up to the round of Sweet 16 for all of those age groups. After today and tomorrow's play, we will be whittling down the round of 16 to the final 4, who will compete for our championships in the middle of May. There are 80 teams here that are our location this weekend because we have 5 age groups and 16 teams in each. So probably several thousand people will be out at the complex this weekend, and tomorrow we'll have about half that many, since half of our teams competing today will go home.
The FYSA League it's definitely one of the more premier leagues in the country. I feel Florida does well in representing soccer at its best level. In this specific tournament, right now we're in the round of 16. There's 16 teams left in the State Cup. What we're trying to do is obviously continue to advance. We do have a huge target on our back by being the #1 seed in the state. But our main focus is just to go out there and do the best we can, work hard, apply ourselves, be tactically sound, and most importantly, technically sound. I think at the end of the day, if we can walk away with the result that we're looking for, you know, our boys are getting better. I've been coaching this particular team for about 4 years. I had them when they were U9. It's been an incredible transition. We've seen the team grow from playing 6v6, 8v8 to now 11v11. We play a newer, modern style 4-3-3. It does incorporate the dynamic style of offensive play that we want, as well as incorporating now a defensive mechanism to keep a strong formation. So we do stay true to that Barcelona style soccer we like to play. At the most times, we do engage and attack and become very offensive minded.
Working with Florida Youth Soccer brings in a special role because you get to deal with over 100,000 kids, 20,000 coaches, 260 teams on a daily basis, where we can not only promote the game of soccer but also give the youth something fun to play in between middle school and high school. Florida Youth Soccer is actually promoted through our sponsors, which are our 3 professional teams, the Tampa Bay Rowdies, the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, and Orlando City Soccer. Our top 3 sponsors are Publix, which is a brilliant sponsor of ours, always doing fantastic things for the kids. Another sponsor is Score Sports, which is our apparel sponsor, which is able to give us a great discount for our teams. Our 3rd large sponsor would be Polk County Tourism Sports Marketing, which hosts the majority of the events with us here at Lake Merrill Sports Park, which is where our home office is.
I enjoy every second of coaching. I think it's something that everybody should do at one point in their life because you build such a great relationship. You enjoy the sport so much more. You're so much more passionate. I can relate that passion to these kids and they can relate it back to me. So I'm living through them and we build such a nice bond.
I love being out here working with the kids and seeing the smiles on their faces. At times there's always some aggravating parts, but it just takes a couple of kids to come up afterward and say thank you and how much they appreciate all that you do. That keeps bringing all the volunteers back who are a part of this.
Welcome back to Sports Central. Neil Duncan alongside Chris Caprios, and some great footage there from Florida Youth Soccer Association. And actually, Cody McGee was in the package, but since that happened, he's been promoted to the Director of Parks and Recreation for the City of Auburndale. So congratulations to Cody, absolutely. Yeah. This 4th and final segment brought to us by Days Inn in Lakeland, good partners of tourism and sports marketing, and really one of those hotels that was slam-packed, I'm sure, with, of course, we just completed Sun and Fun, and that ended on a Sunday, and on that Sunday is when Skills USA came in for their event, their first year here in Polk County. And Chris, I know you and your team were really the driving force behind that. Talk to us about that event and how it went. Yeah, it was usually, like you said, usually there's a little bit of downtime right after Sun and Fun for the hotels and restaurants in the area, but this year there was no break. Sun and Fun literally, like you said, ended on that Sunday afternoon, and as the Thunderbirds were flying their final show, the students and
advisors and everyone else from Skills USA were literally moving into Lakeland Center. They basically took over the Lakeland Center for about 4 days for competitions. For those that don't know, Skills USA, this is the Skills USA Florida competition. Then, so it's a state competition for vocational skills type career paths. So you had literally one day in the Lakeland Center, there were semi-truck inside the Lakeland Center, so they could do the automotive repair. Next to them were students that were literally building a bathroom, the frame of a bathroom from scratch. Wow. So then in another area of the Lakeland Center, you have hair weave and hair cutting, advertising design, literally just you name it, there was a competition going on at the Lakeland Center. And the winners, first and second place in each competition, goes on to the national competition, which this year will be in Louisville, Kentucky. So in all, there's about 2,000 students in town for 3 or 4 days, and about 600 rooms per night. Wow. For 3 nights, so 1,800 room nights, about a $2 million economic impact for our community. And just overall, just a great event, great students. These are going to be the future leaders of our economy and of the job force, so great to have them here.
When you talk about the economic impact, it wasn't just important to have the impact of the event. You're bringing the best from around the state into Polk County to expose them to Central Florida's Polk County. So it's almost like a recruitment of relocation for this area.
It really is, and some of them are high school students, some are vocational technical students, so perfect opportunity for our colleges, our universities to recruit. Also, we have some of the best employers, best companies in the world here. You talk about Publix and some others like that. Perfect opportunity for them to see some of the future job force and maybe do some recruiting as well. So win-win for everybody involved. Obviously, like you said, our team was heavily involved. Carol DeHaven from our staff really worked hand in hand with them when we recruited Skills USA to come to Lakeland, but so many others involved, the Lakeland Center, Polk State College, Travis Career Center, many others, Ridge Votech, Jackie Johnson from the Lakeland Chamber. Too many to really even name here without leaving somebody out, but huge undertaking, huge event. Fortunate to have them back in 2016 and 2017, and the event's only going to grow. Our central location, we talk about it all the time, how it's such an asset. People will continue, the event will grow because it's easy to get to us, and schools from around the state will find that out and keep coming back.
Well, it's one of the reasons the FHSA boys and girls basketball is located right here in Polk County, has been for so many years, is because of the central location, but also the great staff at the Lakeland Center. I know it seems like and it's not necessarily tourism and sports, and it's not the Lakeland Center. Events just have things that happen, things have to be changed, and they always are very willing to make those changes and roll the punches, because there's no perfect event.
That's right.
And they certainly, because the weather kind of cropped up on us with Skills USA, and they made the changes that were necessary for a great event for that party. Yeah,
we were looking to showcase downtown Lakeland Tuesday night for their entertainment night. They did get a chance to go out to check out the Flying Tigers on Monday night, which of course was a beautiful night out. But then everybody remembers last week on Tuesday the forecast didn't look great, so we decided to move everything inside to the Lakeland Center. Like you said, they were able to accommodate it, flip some rooms around, and made it happen. But of course, the weathermen never get it right.
Yeah,
sorry.
Beautiful that night outside, but hey, what are you going to do?
You wouldn't have been able to tell that earlier that morning when we made the call. But just a great event all around, and excited for next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And some other events that are going on here in Polk County. The 2015 Carillon Classic 5K Run and Walk will be in Lake Wales at Bach Tower. That's Saturday, May 2nd, so that's actually tomorrow.
Yeah, that's an event that's grown so much. FPRA, the Polk County chapter, started that event, and it's so popular because there aren't too many 5Ks taking place at Bach Tower Gardens, so a rare opportunity and a very popular event.
Also tomorrow, I know one of your favorite groups coming to Joker Marching Stadium.
The Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Can't beat that. And again, the best part of that one is it's a fundraiser for a new playground being built in Lakeland. But that's a rare venue. You don't get to see too many concerts at Joker Marching Stadium.
And of course the old version of Joker Marching Stadium, because after next year they're going to change the look of Joker Marching Stadium with the renovations. So go check out that concert.
I think local guy. Michael MacArthur is going to be opening for the Beach Boys. So
very cool.
if you don't like the Beach Boys, which who doesn't celebrate their entire
Americana.
collection like I do, go see Michael MacArthur.
Well, we already talked about it, but Saturday, May 9th will be the Mid-Florida Mayfair by the Lake. Of course, that's in Lakeland. Also have the Mayfair Classic 5K. So if you're not on the arts side, you can run the 5K. If you're not on the running side, you can go to the arts show, and also check out free admission to the Polk Museum of Art.
Yeah. Great event.
Another event that's new, the Tribal Extreme Mud Run in Mulberry.
That sounds scary, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's these mud runs we've talked about. I think Mark Zimmerman's been on the show to talk about it in the past. Growing tremendously throughout the country, and this is just, I guess, the latest iteration of one of those runs. But there's obstacles, 10K and 5K runs. You can go 3.1 miles or 6.2 if you're really into that kind of thing, and running through all kinds of obstacles. Of course, mud being in the name. I'm sure you're going to run through some mud and other stuff.
Well, you can register online at tribalextreme.com for that event, so check that out. Armed Forces Day at Bok Tower Gardens. They've always got a great number of events going on. That'll be Saturday, May 16th, and you get in free if you show your credentials as a former service person or active military, and then they'll have special half-hour carillon concerts from 1 to 3 p.m. saluting our service.
Cypress Gardens water ski team, we talked to them a little bit earlier. Third Saturday of every month, just to remember that, mark it on your calendar. Also in action, the defending champs, the Florida Marine Raiders. They are going to be back at the Lakeland Center on Saturday, May 16th. And they'll be taking on the Cape Fear Heroes. So.
Yeah, and they actually play tomorrow. They're traveling up and trying to defend that X-League championship. But I tell you what, I know that you live in Central Florida. I know there's great weather, and it's hard to be, I don't want to go inside for 2 or 3 hours. It's a family-friendly atmosphere. Coach Mink does a great job, and they do a lot for the fans. So check that out, and you can tune into this. The radio version of Sports Central every Thursday from 5 to 6 on Talk 1430 WLKF, where we will be giving away tickets for those games. So tune in there and get your trivia answers ready.
Yeah, and also in action, you mentioned the balance between wanting to be outside in the beautiful weather and inside. So when you're done being inside, then go back outside. The Lakeland Flying Tigers, of course, their season in full swing. You like what I did there? They are in full swing going on through September. They have games several times per week. Of course, Saturdays they have the fireworks. Mondays are dollar days, so dollar admission, dollar hot dogs. Go get your fill there for that. So something every night going on, another family-friendly event. So go check them out as well.
Absolutely. We want to thank some sponsors that made this show possible. Contemplo Vacation Homes, Travel Lodge, Harry's Old Place, Cleveland Heights Golf Course, and Harborside Restaurant in Winter Haven, your lakeside dining right there in
Beautiful
Winter
location,
Haven.
yeah.
Great location.
For some sunsets and food.
Absolutely. Well, we said it earlier, we're going to say it again. Go to centralfloridasports.com or visit centralflorida.org for a full listing of events, or give us a call at 551-4750. The next edition of Sports Central will come live to you on Friday, May 15th. Until then, you can enjoy some re-airs of this program, if enjoy is the right word.
I'm sure it is, yeah. I'm sure people cannot get enough of us.
But we do want to thank our guest, Mayfair by the Lake, Brenda Friedman, for coming on. We also want to thank the Cypress Gardens water ski team and what they're doing. And really, that event that they're going to have is fantastic. Giving an opportunity on May 9th for those who have suffered an injury and can't exactly do it on their own. But till then, for Chris Caprios, this is Neil Duncan. We'll see you again next time.